You're pretty bullish. Are we now turning a corner on this stock?
It feels like we are, yeah. We are starting to warm up to the name. We took our target price up overnight after going to the Snap Partner Summit. You're seeing signs that the company innovation is live and well. You're seeing confidence in the management team. And then you're also getting exposed to a rank of executives below the very senior level that for the first time really, and you're seeing the depth of the bench at the company. And it does seem like they're getting ready to turn a corner.
And so they've moved on from perhaps some of the missteps where we lost executives, particularly their chief strategy officer and the likes that many felt have been sort of the adult in the room.
Yeah, so last year there was a lot of turnover. We lost Imran Khan, as you noted. The CFO left. They had the disastrous rollout of a new app version.
Yes.
They lost subscribers or users in the second and third quarter. But it feels like things are a lot more stable at the company at this point, and I think they've put a lot of that behind them. We're not out of the woods yet. I think a lot will come down to the Android rollout of the new app design coming.
How's that look?
Yeah, so basically they had a lot of problems technologically. You know, if you look at the company, all the executives there had iPhones and programmed the iPhones. And what they realized as they started to pivot their strategy to try to grow internationally, their product didn't work very well on Android. And so they had to go back to the drawing board and rebuild the product from scratch. And we're just getting some testing out. The company's starting to release in the wild this new app. They sound encouraged in the very early findings, but we should get more color from the company on the next quarter on how that's going.
From your perspective, how regularly does that happen, that people forget about the Android device making and they many put it second tier, but how many do they realize that actually don't build the app in the right, correct way to be able to monetize?
It's a good question. It's pretty rare. I mean, we have seen instances where companies have flagged in documents about kind of lagging in Android, but never certainly have we seen a company take over a year to rebuild an app for Android. So it's very unusual. So that's part of the uncertainty we're faced with now is what does it look like as this rolls out?
And the other part of the uncertainty that some other analysts have started to voice is how they monetize all these new games, new apps, new ways and means to engage the viewer. How do you think that happens?
Yeah, it's a good question. So right now with the new games they rolled out yesterday, it's going to be an ad model. And the way they're doing it is if the user wants to click to get an extra life or to extend the game, they have to watch an ad. It's a good ad model because the user is getting something in return for watching an ad. So it should monetize well. The question in our minds is what kind of adoption do they get? They're making it really easy and very social, so there's some encouraging signs. But the games look pretty basic, pretty casual. We'll see. I think in terms of broader monetization on the platform, there's a lot of room for them on just the core advertising. The pricing is really low compared to some of the other social platforms. And so if they prove that the ads work to advertisers, if they get more advertisers into the system, they can show the right ad to the right user at the right time, and revenue should follow. But we'll have to see. I mean, they've done a pretty good job, but there's a lot of room left.
What are you hearing from marketers? Because it was interesting that we saw a slight spike in Snap's share price when Facebook was having some of its woes. The view and maybe boycotts on YouTube sometimes might be advantageous. Is it because they're the only other place to really get access to Gen Z and millennial that they seem to be benefiting? Can they extend that?
Yeah, what we hear from ad buyers is that they've done a great job attracting the younger audience that is increasingly hard to reach. They don't watch a lot of broadcast TV. They're hard to find, and so they've done a great job there. Where the company hasn't done as good a job historically is on the performance marketing side, and they've spent the last 2 years rebuilding their performance marketing capabilities. And we're starting to hear better things from the ad community. One thing we've consistently heard is that the team at Snap building that underlying technology is very talented. So encouraging signs, but the one thing we haven't heard yet is advertisers who have been able to really scale their spend and see consistent return on ad spend. If they can do that, then there's a lot of room they can get to on monetization. But we've heard some positive signs, but nothing definitive yet.
How high can the share price go?
When we talk to investors, our target price right now is 13. But when you look at our target multiple, we still use a discount to what other companies in the internet space growing at the same growth rate are trading at. And so you get a little bit of lift in the multiple. And if they can beat on revenue, you could see a nice gain in the share price. You know, it's come back a lot, but there's still some room to go.